And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Yeah, well, hello. It is time for me and the Punk to have some unbelievable interviews, and we are lucky enough on this evening to have the Italian gangster, Danny Sabatello, the guy who is going against Raufeon Stots for the Bantamweight Interim Championship title and the chance to move on in the World Bantamweight Grand Prix for a chance at $1 million. Danny Sabatello, he is the man. He is the Italian gangster, and he's the guy that likes to say fuck. Let's go to Danny Sabatello now. Oh, that's right. We are lucky enough to be blessed with the presence of a guy that is on fire right now. He is the main event December 9th at the Mohegan Sun. Danny Sabatello going for $1 million to get one step closer to it. He's got to beat the interim champ and take that belt in facing Raufeon Stots. My man, how are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
It don't get no better than this. Come on, man. Look at, man. We get to talk to you. We get to sit here and just, shoot the shit. Because I'm being honest, you have pumped life into this Bantamweight World Grand Prix. You've not been in Bellator that long. You're 3 fights in. You came in, you took on a tough guy in Brett Johns. Then you went and they basically put you into that tournament. But you have been on fire, dude. And the way you talk, it's catching everyone's. Everyone is noticing. Everyone is saying, dude, is this guy for real? And the best part is you're just being you.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Danny, before you get started, I want to say that John said you pumped life into the Bantamweight tournament. My brother, you pumped life into Bellator. You have done this.
I fucking love it.
I got to take it that step further.
It works great because I am just being myself, and I think once I started out, people didn't really know if I was putting on some show or some gimmick, but I think the fans have kind of become intelligent enough to realize this is truly who I am, and not only am I talking, but I'm backing it up with my performances. Obviously I had a great opportunity to fight Brett Johns on short notice, who's an absolute stud, and not only did I win that fight, I went in there and I absolutely fucking dominated him, so it only worked if you go in there and win. If you go in there and you fucking talk shit, it doesn't matter if you don't get the W. But I think people are starting to realize, holy shit, this kid is for real on the mic and he's for real in the cage. So it's only going to get bigger and better. I know I've only been in this fucking Bellator for about a year now. Just imagine how it's going to be in more time.
So, look, everyone knows you for your tenacity, your cardio, the way you wrestled. They know that you wrestled out of Purdue. They know that you've got the mouth on you. The F word's your favorite word. They all know that stuff. Okay? We get that. John's counting behind the back of you when he's interviewing how many F-bombs you drop.
Yeah, it was legendary.
Those are things that you're going to care. The fans are just going to remember you for. But I want you to sit on the show right now and tell fans and everyone listening, like, what is it that they don't know about you? Like, where were you born? Where'd you come from? Like, family stuff or whatever, college stuff. Give us some information about you that I can't read online.
Yeah, mainly everything you see online and under the spotlight really is just me. If you go back and watch my previous fights on the regional scene, I was doing the same thing. I was getting in my opponents' heads and putting on a show for them. Even back in wrestling where it's not too much of a showbiz and you can't really talk too much trash, I was still the same guy. I was still on message boards talking all this shit to my opponents. I was almost getting thrown out of tournaments when I was in high school and in college. So I'm pretty much been the same guy consistently throughout my entire career, whether it's in fighting or in wrestling. So I don't really have too much where, oh man, well, did you know Danny Sabatello, blah, blah, blah. I don't really have that. I'm human just like everybody else. I make so many fucking mistakes. I've probably made more mistakes than anybody else. But I'm somebody that is always going to push forward. I think a lot of these guys in Bellator and just in MMA in general are afraid to talk shit because they're afraid of the backlash. I don't really give a fuck. This shit obviously only works when I win, but even if I weren't to win, I would still get up and I would still talk shit. I would still show up at the gym the next day. I would shut out all the haters. I know if, for God's sake, in the second I lose, I know that I'm going to have a zillion fucking comments and losers and miserable people talking shit on my Instagram, on my Twitter, but I don't really give a fuck. So again, I think everybody is afraid if they lose to get all that backlash. But you know what? I only give a fuck about the opinions of my family, my friends, my coaches, my teammates, and myself. Everyone else can just fuck off.
You know what? You just mimicked everything I tell every fighter, man. If you start caring about all the internet trolls and everything about what they're saying, you have lost sight on what is important. But Josh was trying to go back.
That's my job, bro. That's what all I do is surf our comments to see how much shit I can read up about how much they talk about me, how much trash they hate on me.
And it's crazy because usually the people that are talking shit don't know anything about fucking fighting. Fucking losers, dude. I get comments and threats all the time, and I'll just entertain it for a second, and I'll go to their profile, and it's just some like 12-year-old kid. Like, it's ridiculous.
Look at Josh was trying to get some of the background. I want to get some of the background. You were a 2-time state champion in Illinois from high school. That's outstanding. That's a hell of an accomplishment. Then you went to Purdue. What was it after your wrestling career at Purdue was over? What was it that made you travel down into Florida to go to ATT to start your MMA career?
Yeah, so my entire life, I always knew I was going to get into fighting. You know, my one true love was fighting, but I had to accomplish my goals and my dreams in wrestling first. You know, I really tried to steer clear of having any thoughts on fighting and just completely go full steam ahead with wrestling because it's such a fucking tough sport. You got to be all in. So I did. I won state twice in Illinois, which is a great wrestling state, probably top 3 in the nation. Then I went and wrestled at Division I in the Big Ten at Purdue University. And even towards the end of my career, I knew I was going to, holy shit, man, I just want to put my hands on somebody and put my fucking elbow through their skull. All I'm trying to do right now is put someone on their back. That's pussy shit. So obviously once I graduated, I knew I wanted to fucking fight. I was full steam ahead. I moved back to Chicago, but there's not any really good gyms in Chicago, no mega gyms or anything like that. So I was partying a lot. I was hanging out with all my friends and family. You know, that's everybody I know is living there. And it really took the 2016 Chicago Cubs World Series to put myself in check. You know, I was living in Chicago and I lived about a half a mile away from Wrigley Field, and me and my boys were getting fucked up every single Cubs game. And it's just really not the lifestyle of somebody that is trying to become the best fighter on the planet. So after the Cubs won the World Series, I went on about like a week bender and I was just fucked up the entire week. And I kind of just sat down with myself and realized, holy shit, man, I got to make a big change. I'm not going to become a world champion if I keep doing this shit. So, you know, if I'm going to do something right, I'm going to do it big. I'm going to join the best gym in the world, and that's American Top Team down in South Florida. And I didn't know anybody in South Florida at the time. I didn't know anybody in the state of Florida, but I took that big risk, and it was scary at the time, but it's worked itself out.
I saw an interview where you had said you showed up and you just kind of snuck your way in. And then the GM asked, like, hey, you know, who are you? And you're like, oh, yeah, I train here. And he's like, no, you don't.
Me and his name's Richie. Me and Richie still talk about it to this day. Dan Lambert brings it up all the time. Whenever he sees me in the gym and I'm walking by, he always says, hey, who are you? Because they're always joking around with me. Yeah, it is a fucking crazy story, but dude, sometimes you got to be crazy to get what you want. You know, I know that I needed that type of training to be in South Florida. I know I needed to belong to the best gym in the world. So I kind of just did what I had to do to make it work. I don't recommend people do that. I don't think it was a smart decision looking back, but you know what? It's all panned itself out.
Yeah, it seems it's worked for you. So that's all that matters in the end. But when you look at ATT, what is it that makes that place so special as far as, is it the coaches? Is it the athletes? Is it the owner and Dan Lambert, a guy that is willing to put whatever it takes into it to make it a success? What is it that makes that place so special?
He's also willing to bet hundreds of thousands of dollars on his athletes.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Dan is a wild man. He is crazy in himself. That's why it works, because Dan Lambert really heads the whole thing, and he understands fighters. You know, he used to compete and all that. But it really is just a mixture of everything, because we got guys coming in from all over the world. You know, we don't just have guys coming in from Nebraska or Illinois or whatever. We got guys coming in for their camps from China, Russia, Dagestan, whatever it may be. I think the good thing is it seems like we have a total buy-in to the system. You know, when you have that big of a group where it is worldwide, it's hard to keep a tight-knit group, but somehow we have accomplished that. So with the buy-in with all the athletes and also the coaches being smart with everything, Obviously it does suck when ATT goes against ATT, but they always say it's a good problem to have. A lot of times we got guys fighting each other for belts. So it is complicated when that happens, but obviously that's a good problem to have. I don't really have a complete answer to say why it is so amazing. But once you go down there and you get the feel for it, if you even step in foot of the gym and you watch a sparring session, you realize, holy fuck, these guys mean business. And everybody there is pretty much on board to try to be the best fighter in the fucking world. I always say it, a lot of fighters are fucking pussies out there. A lot of fighters are not trying to be the best fighter in the world. They just want to say they're fighters. They just want to let everybody know and tell their boys and their friends that they're fighters. But everybody at American Top Team is trying to become the best fighter in the world.
When you're watching them all get after it, who right now is somebody that maybe somebody doesn't know that they should try to keep an eye on out of American Top Team?
Dude, for a while, I've been saying Renato Moicano is a bad fucking guy. He obviously had a great fight, his last fight, and he was electric on the mic, which helped him out. But that guy, if you watch him in the gym, he beats the fuck out of everybody. I've seen him spar heavyweights and fuck them up. He could spar anybody on the ground, on the feet. He's very good. I know he's not really a guy that's on the regional level, and holy shit, I should look out for him. But I'm telling you, that guy can become a world fucking champion. But we got so many guys like that. You know what? When I am going across the room and I look to my left and I got Pedro Munoz, and I look to my right and I got Marlon Moraes, there's also these other studs on the regional scene that are going to be coming up. The good thing with the American Top Team is it's a filtration system. We got fucking champions and awesome guys like Dustin Poirier and Masvidal and Joanna Jacek. But then we also have up-and-comers like myself.
Who is it that you find that you're in there and they're your main training partners most of the time?
Yeah, me and Pedro Munoz, I would say he's my main guy. We go all the time. He's really helping me a lot out for this fight because Stots is a southpaw, and we don't really have too many southpaws my weight at the gym, but Pedro does a really good job of switching stances. He's a little bit shorter than me, and so is Stots. So I've been working with him for this upcoming fight with Stots, and I've really worked with him throughout my entire career. Because you know what? I always say I'm not in a fucking training camp right now. I'm in a training camp throughout my career. I go to the best gym in the world twice a day, every day, no matter what, whether I'm in fucking camp or not in camp. So not only am I training to beat Raufeon Stots, I'm training to beat fucking everybody. If I learn something against an orthodox fighter right now, that may come in handy in a couple of years. Who knows? I know I do have a southpaw on my hands, but I'm just trying to become a better mixed martial artist in general. But obviously, as we get closer to the fight, we're 2 weeks out. It's next weekend at the Mohegan Sun. Obviously, I'm zeroing in on Raufeon Stots, but I'm just trying to become better no matter where it is. And I have a plethora of fucking fighters down at American Top Team that'll give me every single look in the book.
Raufeon's got a good wrestling background as well. Fantastic wrestling background as well. When you look at the two, there you go. When you look at the two, though, his style of wrestling is a lot different. His style is more of like sprawl, brawl, make the space. He's not trying to really get after you. Like you're just aggressiveness of just that kind of that Boilermaker Purdue style of wrestling. Just grind, hang on the head, get busy. You have them shot, reshot, all of that stuff. That's a different style of wrestling that he is bringing to the MMA cage, I should say. How do you look to exploit him in that area right now, knowing that that's really like going to be your bread and butter?
Yeah, he's not relentless at all. I'm more of a guy that's like a dog on the bone. I'm just going to keep fucking coming after it. If I shoot for a shot, even if I don't get it, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be coming in about 10, 15, 20 more seconds again at it. He's not really like that. He's a very athletic guy. He can get his hips back, and it's good in MMA. You don't really have wrestling shoes, so it's really slippery on your ankles. So it's obviously good in his favor in this MMA wrestling. There's a huge difference between pure wrestling and MMA wrestling. In this fight, I don't really think it fucking matters. I would tech him in a wrestling match, and I'll beat the shit out of him December 9th in an actually MMA grappling match. But I don't see his wrestling on par with mine. Maybe I'm overlooking something. I've been saying it this entire fight camp and all these interviews. There must be something I'm not seeing. I don't think his grappling is that good. I know he had a pretty big test against Magomed, the Russian, in his fight 2 fights ago, I believe. And I don't think that Magomed guy has that good of grappling either. Obviously it's going to be different once I get in there and get a feel for it. Then I'll be able to gauge it. But when I'm sitting down with my coaches and we're reviewing film and we're going over tape, there's just not much there for me to work with, and giving him a compliment on him being good. I honestly think he fucking sucks. I don't think his stand-up is good either. But yeah, his grappling and his MMA wrestling isn't that good. He doesn't have too heavy of pressure. He doesn't suffocate with you with his hips or get you in these fucking crazy positions or so much weight on you. He just kind of, you can tell he has a wrestling background because he utilizes it sometimes. But again, I think we're just going to see me absolutely maul him. You know, I don't want this to be just a grappling fight. I do want to show my striking in this fight because I don't think he's very good. But I do want to beat the shit out of him on the ground because he did say that he's a better wrestler than me, which is absolutely fucking crazy.
Well, you got to understand. Here's a guy coming. He wrestled at Division II, Nebraska Kearney. He was a 2-time NC2A champion. You got to give it up. He's got some accolades behind him.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's not shit to a fucking Division I Big Ten wrestler. I honestly think I would fucking beat him if I had my eyes closed. If we actually did a wrestling match and I closed my eyes, I'm not saying I would tech him, but I would for sure major him. I don't think that he has the accolades. He keeps talking about how he's a fucking Division II, Division III JUCO. I don't even know what the fuck he is. He keeps saying that. I've never heard someone brag about being that to a Big Ten Division I wrestler. It's absolutely hilarious, but the guy's not too fucking intelligent. I also don't think he fights too smart. I see him fucking winding up for shots. I want to get him so fucking pissed off. I want to have him knock my fucking head off. I know I'm already in his head. I know he wants to fucking kill me. You're going to see that in the first round. I think he's going to be swinging heavy. He's going to be throwing everything under the wing to try to get me out of there in the first. And usually that's when you make mistakes. You slip up and you get more tired. And I'm going to take that as my advantage.
There's been a lot of trash talk back and forth. Is there anything that's gotten under your skin a little bit from him? Is there anything you feel like you've gotten under his skin with anything you've said? Because I know we've had you before in terms of talking to you in fighter meetings. And you've said, look, I keep it about the opponent. I don't talk about your family. I don't talk about anything outside of, I talk about you. Have you noticed a change in him a little bit since this has been face-to-face in a couple interviews?
Yeah, I mean, I do have a couple rules with my trash talk. You know, I don't involve family, religion, or anything like that. I don't see a need for it. I don't even think it sells fights or anything like that anyways. Plus, it just wouldn't be genuine because I don't give a fuck about the guy's family or religion or anything like that. But nothing's really gotten under my skin. You know, people think that he's a good trash talker, but he's not a fucking good trash talker. He is a trash talker, which makes it seem like maybe he's good because not a lot of MMA guys do talk trash. So when you come across him, you think he's good at it, but he's fucking not. He stutters all the time. And our trash talk is just so different. Mine's actually good. You know, if you look at his fucking Instagram, he has me compared to some Disney cartoon fucking bullshit person. I don't know. He's talking about Disney Channel over there comparing me to a cartoon, and I'm over here talking about putting my fucking elbow through his skull. So there's a little bit of a difference between the trash talk. I think he's silly. I think he's funny with it. I don't think he's good at it. I'm glad he is talking shit because it makes it more fun for me. But again, I don't think he's very good at it.
I know that you are you and you're original, and that's what I love about you. But is there anybody in MMA that you go, he's a good trash talker besides yourself?
Yeah. I mean, I am aware that trash talking is good for the sport. I know that it does sell fights. It's just a bonus for me because I don't have to be anybody that I'm not, and I don't have to put on this front. I could just have fun with it. You know, at the end of the day, fighting is fucking fun to me. Everything outside of it is fun to me. The interviews, the trash talking, all of it is fun with me. It's a career that you better fucking love, and you better love everything that has come along with it. And I really do. I enjoy every fucking thing about it. Obviously, the true love is actually getting in there in the cage and slicing somebody open. But in terms of somebody else that's trash talking, obviously Conor McGregor and Chael Sonnen are the OGs at it. They both are just so fucking good at it. Obviously, they're really good for the sport. You can have your opinions on Conor and Chael or whoever else is talking trash, but Conor and Chael have really transformed the sport. They've made it what it is. Whether you like them or not, you have to respect what they have done for the sport.
I don't want to think too far ahead, but I know you've got your eye probably across the bracket. You've got, Patchy Mix versus Magomedov. When you're breaking that fight down, how do you see that fight going?
Yeah, I think they both suck. I think Raufeon Stots is not very good, but he is better than both those guys. So my side of the bracket is so much tougher than the other side. If you look at the other side, you see two little pipsqueaks going at it, and it's going to be funny what happens December 9th. I don't really have a fucking prediction of what happens Patchy is only good in one area when he gets your back and he has that little body lock position. He's really good there, but other than that, he looks like a fish out of water. When he fought James Gallagher, I thought that was the funniest fight of all time. They both looked like they absolutely sucked. With Magomed, I think he's a little bit tricky sometimes because he throws a lot of spinning attacks. That can be very dangerous because we got small gloves on and your life can be put out like that. But yeah, I don't really know how that's going to go. I think Patchy's going to actually want to take it to the ground, but Magomed might want to as well because he thinks he's a grappler. I think it's going to be on the feet probably for the first round, and then the remainder of the fight will probably go to the ground where they're both comfortable most. If I had to guess, I would say Magomed, but I'm not too confident in it.
Which one are you looking if you had to fight? Either one, do you have a preference?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. I think I could expose both of them. I think there's areas both in their game that would make me look really good going up against them. So in terms of a stylistic matchup, I don't really give a shit. I think I fucking punk both of them. But I know Magomed doesn't talk that much English, so we won't really have too much banter back and forth, so that's really not too much fun. I know Patchy will actually fucking talk to me and talk some trash back. That can be fun. So I don't want to say I want Patchy to win so we can talk trash, or I want him to win because I actually, to be perfectly honest with you, I wish they both fucking lose. I wish they both fucking head kick each other and both knock each other out. But I guess I would say it would be more fun if it was Patchy. But again, I don't give a fuck.
John, that brought up a very interesting question. In a tournament format, if both guys knock themselves out in the semifinals, what do you do for the finals?
We do have an alternate, and that alternate would be put in there. But it's also what can happen is, depending upon where it is in the fight, because it's a tournament format, the judges are advised that they may be asked, if it becomes a draw or a no contest, they may be asked to say who should go forward in the tournament, and they'll give their opinion on who should be the person that moves forward.
Wouldn't you just reschedule the fight?
Well, I think that has happened somewhere along the way,
wow.
But we don't want to reschedule because
that is odd.
That would be extremely odd.
There's a lot of things that can go on. Tournament-based formats, sometimes it's you got to do things a little different because think about it. If you go and you do win this fight against Raufeon, you're sitting there with the interim title. And now these guys have to go and fight again. So now they have to give them an additional couple of months, to recover, get back in a training camp.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting there doing nothing. It's not really fair to you either.
No.
Right. I wouldn't be fighting for a while.
Yeah. But it's also not fair for an alternate to slide up in there, right? Somebody you haven't really had your eye on. And
come on, man. That happened long ago. What are we talking about here?
I know. But then
go back to UFC 3. Who won that? Who won it?
Some alternate.
An alternate won that?
An alternate named Steve Jenham. He was a Nebraska police officer.
No way. That's badass. That a fucking badass.
I have a question, John. Maybe you jog my memory. I know I was there, but it was Matt Mitrione and Fedor. They both had the double knockdown. Was that in the tournament?
No, that was just
a fight.
New York City. Yeah.
I remember it was in New York. I remember that. But I was trying to remember if that was the beginning of that tournament or
that heavyweight tournament. No, they didn't face each other in that.
I do love the fucking tournament, though. I think it's a really good idea. I think all the other sports out there, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, they have the fucking playoff. And this is our playoff. You have fans out there. You want to have everybody get on board with MMA. You want to build the fucking sport and have casuals tag along to the sport. I think they would like this fucking Grand Prix thing. Because in fighting, you can kind of cherry pick who gets the title shots. And you'll always have dumbass fans saying, oh, did they deserve the title shot? Did they actually become the champion? Are they the best? With this Grand Prix, you have to fucking prove it. When I am the Grand Prix champion, I will be the best bantamweight on planet Earth because I went through the fucking tournament. Nobody's going to be able to say, oh, he just got a title shot randomly.
Yeah.
So I do think it is good, and I think that it mimics the other sports.
Speaking of the tournament format, right now we've got the biggest tournament in the world going on, which is the World Cup. U.S. played Iran today. Did you watch a little bit of that? Did you catch any of that?
I didn't, but I know USA won.
Yeah, they won 1-0. Should have been 2. There was an offsides that shouldn't have been called back. It was like the tip of his knee was offside.
Yeah, I'm not a huge soccer guy. I put it on for 5 minutes, but It's just if it's
Yeah.
not violent, if someone's not putting their elbow through your face.
You mean
it's
you don't
just
love
crazy.
baby.
You don't love the flopping? You don't love the
drives,
insane.
It
It is
drives me
insane.
to distraction.
I don't get it. That's part of the sport.
Yeah.
I don't fucking
No,
get
it's
it.
horrible.
People eat it up. They love it.
It's horrible.
I saw a
I
guy
love
one
it.
time lay on the fucking ground for 5 fucking minutes. I thought he was gonna die. He got up 2 seconds after that and was fine.
Yeah,
The greatest thing I ever saw in soccer is there's a player, female player. She plays in New Mexico State. They're playing Brigham Young. This girl is all over the field. She's yanking girls down. She's kicking them. She's doing all kinds of dirty shit. She got in trouble for it, but I loved her, and I would watch soccer if it was played the way she plays it.
But if you
100%.
if you watch the women's U.S. National team, they don't flop as much as the men. The men are all over the place, man. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm a big fan of soccer, man. I love watching it. So,
Who's your team?
oh, I mean, like I'm watching the U.S. the World Cup right now, so I really only watch kind of when the U.S. plays, and that's it. The women, men and women. I love watching either the Olympics or the World Cup. I don't really get into the European leagues. It's just there's too much money, it's too much flopping. There's a lot on stake, and I just can't watch it. And plus the time changes. I'm like, I'm not staying up late to watch these games. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not that committed. You know?
Yeah, no way.
Let's bring you back to the World Grand Prix because, like we said, you have 2 fights in a row that I always say it's awesome when you have that target. You can put that target on something and you have something, it's a goal and you're working towards it, and it just gives you that motivation to be the best you can be. You've got it twice here because you have Raufeon Stots, who is in possession of the interim title, the only title that there is in the Bantamweight Grand Prix since Sergio Pettis is not part of the Grand Prix. So you have that. So if you get a win against him, now you will be the champion going into the finals, and there's $1 million payday at the end of that on top of what your normal, contract gives you and stuff. Have you ever thought about what you're going to do if you win that $1 million?
No, I'm not
it.
really. Honestly, I'm not a big money guy. I don't think it's very intelligent if you're in my position like this to start thinking about the money, because then you start getting ahead of yourself and you get motivated by different things. Right now, my motivation is to fucking beat the shit out of Raufeon Stots. You keep saying he has the interim title, but to me, he actually has the title because Sergio Pettis is a little bitch. He's a pussy. He couldn't make it to the fucking tournament. So when I do beat Raufeon Stots, I will be the Bellator Bantamweight champion of the world. I don't care what fucking Sergio or anybody else says. So to me, it is the fucking for the title. And plus, I think people understand from a skill standpoint, me and Raufeon Stots are the best guys in the division. But yeah, I don't really care too much for the money. Obviously, it's going to be really nice. I can think of a bunch of things to do. I can party with some models in Italy on a yacht. Of course, it's going to be fucking sick. But I don't really have anything that I really want or something that I need with that money. I'm going to have fun with it. Obviously, I'm not going to be too fucking stupid with it. I mean, I might be a little stupid with it, but who cares? Whatever. But yeah, to me right now, a lot of people are fucking rich these days. A lot of people have $1 million. Average people have $1 million. Fucking idiots have $1 million. But there's only one best fucking fighter in the world, and that's what I'm chasing. So,
who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Yeah, it's going to be my boy, Aaron Ashead, who was my teammate back at Purdue. He helps me during fight week with weight cutting. We kind of grapple a lot. And he's kind of just there to have my back. I know these fucking idiots, Patchy and Magomed and Stots, are going to be around the hotel and wait for me to slip up. They're going to bring out their stupid-ass phone and try to fucking film me and be like, oh, what you got to say? Nah. So he's going to be there to have my back and make sure nothing goes south. If somebody pulls up on me behind my back and we have to throw down, he's going to be there. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully it makes it to the fucking cage December 9th, but you never know. So obviously he's going to be there to have my back, and I'm going to have my head coach, Mike Brown, who I'm very close with. I just believe whatever he says. If he says to do something, do it. If he says go into this fight with Stots and fight blindfolded, I would fucking do it because I have that much faith in that guy. And then it's also going to be my Muay Thai coach, Coach Anderson, and then probably my boxing coach, Gabriel.
What makes Mike Brown so special? I've heard from Dustin. I've heard from all the other fighters out of that gym, and even Mo Lawal would talk about how great he was and what was good for him. But what makes him special for you?
Dude, he is absolutely obsessed with the sport. He is in the gym more than anybody else, more than any of the other coaches, more than any of the other fighters. He is constantly evolving, and he's always bringing up stuff on his phone where he was taking a little clip from this weekend's UFC or Bellator event or PFL or One Horizon, and he's like, look what this guy did. I think this could work, whether it's against an orthodox guy or a southpaw. He's just an absolute mastermind. He's a genius when it comes to MMA. His technique is so solid. And he's just so smart with things. Obviously he's got the experience. He's been in world title fights. He can bring that aspect. But he's also just really intelligent everywhere. He's not really a boxing coach or a wrestling coach or a grappling coach or anything. He is a coach everywhere. He can coach you no matter what the fuck it is. And plus he's just a good guy. He's kind of a guy that you want to go into battle with. He would have your back no matter what. He's a very loyal individual, and he's a really fucking nice guy. But you know what? Who cares about if you're a nice guy or not? Can he coach you to a world title? And Mike Brown is going to do that with me.
Have you ever gone back and watched any of Mike's fights when he was a fighter?
Not in a while. When I grew up, I fucking watched him all the time. He was one of my favorite fighters growing up, so it's still kind of crazy when he's in my corner and I'm listening to him. I'm kind of like fanboying him. He's saying something to me, and inside I'm like, holy shit, you're fucking Mike Brown. But yeah, it's crazy. I haven't watched any of his fights recently.
I'll tell you what, there was a moment when he was in the WEC. It's when he became the champ. He was so good and he was so smooth at everything. And you just looked and you said, God damn, man, I remember when he kind of relied on wrestling for a while, and then it was just everything flowed for him, and just a great fighter. And he's just gone on from there and become an even better coach. Everybody that I know that works with him loves him, and how can you not? He's just a great human being. So
yeah, absolutely. And not only is he coaching, I just had practice with him, and it was me and him. It wasn't like me and a fucking another teammate and he's coaching us. I was actually rolling with Mike Brown, and that's you kind of relate to somebody like that. If you have a coach that's always just telling you what to do and not kind of like showing it or doing it on you or anything like that, it's different. But with him, it's like I'm rolling with him twice a week, every single week. So it's kind of like he's also my teammate.
When you are there at ATT and then you have these groups, did you get a little bit more motivation out of having these guys watching you spar? Are you guys all working together? Is there a little bit more extra motivation out of it all?
Yeah, 100%. When you got fucking high-level fighters, and really now MMA guys are celebrities. So when you got all eyes on you, it's a little more oomph in there. You kind of want to go a little bit harder. You're trying to go hard for not just yourself, but your teammates. You're reminded that you're not only representing your last name, but you're representing your teammates. And then you start thinking, holy shit, you're representing your family and your friends. And it's just awesome to be in there, having people having your back. When I walk through the halls, everybody's saying what's up to me. I'm a very good teammate. People think I'm a fucking piece of shit, but I'm not a piece of shit all the time. I might be a piece of shit to my fucking enemy.
That's
the fucking
okay.
guy in the cage.
That's okay.
The guy in the cage that's trying to fucking beat me and trying to paralyze me, of course I'm going to talk shit to and be a piece of shit too. But when you talk to me, when I'm around my fucking teammates or friends or family, I'm obviously a really good guy. So everybody at the gym fucking loves me. But yeah, it's great when they're watching me spar. Obviously, I'm becoming a little bit more popular, and people are kind of saying things to me, saying that they're watching my rise and they're really happy for me because they remember when I first started coming to the gym. So obviously there's extra motivation there, but I'm just a motivated guy in general. I'm always fucking motivated. That's just who I am. I'm very energetic, passionate, and motivated. I'll be motivated no matter what. Even after this fucking podcast and interview, I'm going to be so motivated because I was like, holy shit, I just talked to two fucking legends. I'm always motivated.
How much has your life changed since entering the tournament, having success? I mean, you guys are the main event now in the semifinals, in Mohegan Sun next week. I mean, there's a lot going on. You guys have really carried this, like John was saying. You guys have kind of carried the bantamweight in the shit talking, but in the promotion of it all as well. You've got Bellator pushing you guys because you guys are the talking mouthpieces.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it has changed a little bit because it's kind of sick right now. I'm living out my dream. It's going according to plan and everything that I really envisioned it to. But it hasn't changed too much. I always say my friends and family are going to care about me regardless. This isn't a stipulation where if I lose, my friends and family aren't going to love me any little or more. So it's really just kind of how the outside world has treated me. But at the end of the day, I only care about the views of my family and my friends and kind of just my goals. I'm a very goal-oriented person. I need to accomplish my goals. I need to become the Bellator bantamweight champion and become the best fighter in the world at bantamweight. I need to do that. And that's really all I care about. So if my life does change where I get a little bit more scratch in my pocket or a little bit more autographs or pictures of friends, that is fucking awesome. I fucking love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm always great to people that are asking for pictures. But at the end of the day, I don't really give a fuck. I just care about accomplishing my goals and being good to my family and my friends and having a fucking fun ass time.
You're coming up on Fight Week now, and how do you start dialing it down right now? And then how does your Fight Week turn out?
Yeah, it's hard to dial it down. Right now, I'm just becoming so antsy because we're finally here. I do a good job of calming down, especially in my fights, especially right before the fights. I got a cool, calm, collected mind. But right now, it's kind of just in this zone of, holy shit, we're here, but we're not exactly here. So it's kind of hard to not go through every type of scenario that can happen in the fight, not go back and watch more of his fights. Right now, the hay is kind of in the barn already. The fight is already going to be won or lost. There's not really too much you can do. Obviously, it's MMA and something can be crazy and you could throw a spinning back fist and end it. But right now, I think it's already decided. The MMA gods have already decided who's going to win this fight. And it's obviously going to be me because I'm so much better everywhere than this motherfucker. But yeah, right now, I just kind of go through everything with Fight Week. I stay mentally sharp. I shun out everything else. I don't even entertain any other bullshit. I don't really go out too much. I kind of like being a caged animal before I go out there in the actual fucking cage. But that's just kind of who I am. I'm old school about all that shit. I kind of just stay mentally sharp and just make sure that I'm ready to fucking go and feeling good.
Two-part question. When it comes to 5 rounds, the whole tournament's been 5 rounds. You had the 5-round fight against Higo. Do you think that benefits you since you are a cardio monster? You're a guy that's got that fast pace and you can maintain it for a long time. And second off, is this the first time you've been the main event in a big fight? Because what is it going to be like with all the media things and everything that they're going to ask you now to do that you didn't have to do before?
Yeah, the 5-round fights is just absolutely beautiful for me. That is tailor-made for my style. I think my best attribute isn't wrestling or grappling. It's actually conditioning. I got a crazy ass gas tank, and it's just reassuring and comforting knowing even if I am somehow down 2 rounds in the books, I could come back and easily win these next 3 rounds because I'm going to have the gas tank to just keep pressuring forward. Obviously with these 5 rounds in 25 minutes, that's a lot of fucking time to break a guy. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. The fight might be close the first couple rounds. I don't really know. I hope not. I kind of see it. Maybe it's not, but maybe it is. Who knows? It's chaos in there. But I do see myself breaking everybody if it's a 5-round fight, just because nobody can keep up with that pace. You can have all your skills, but what people don't understand is once you're tired, all your skills and your muscle memory and everything goes out the window. Your reaction time is terrible. And you have these crazy little thoughts in your mind. You don't really realize it, but your subconscious is saying, holy shit, dude, like I might be in over my head. Whether you want yourself to know that or you're telling yourself that, that's actually what's going through your mind when you're dog tired in there and you got blood pumping and it's spewing out of you. You're sweaty as fuck and you have an absolute motherfucking animal in your face still talking to you. It's a lot to fucking come by. And again, I think these 5 rounds are just going to be absolutely terrific with me. With this being a main event, I fucking love it. I want to get this fight as big as possible. I think I'm somebody that shines brightest under the pressure and under all this adversity and everything under the spotlight. You want to give me a spotlight, make it even brighter, you're going to get the best Danny Sabatello. And I also think a lot of people shy away from the pressure and the spotlight. I think Raufeon Stots is one of those people. I think once we do get in there, he's going to feel the lights are a little bit brighter. His legs and his arms are going to be a little bit heavier. Obviously I have plotting with my trash talk and my mental warfare. And part of it is having him want to fucking kill me. And I know Raufeon Stots does want to do that right now. If you go back and you look at his other interviews and his other fights, he might talk a little trash here and there, but not what he's doing with me. When you fight me, you have to go about it a little bit differently. You have to talk trash a certain way. So anytime I have these guys fighting me, I change them. I change their whole fucking careers. People keep saying, holy shit, Danny Sabatello and Raufeon Stots came out of nowhere. No motherfuckers. Raufeon Stots is 33 or 34 years old. He's been in this business. He's nothing new. He's nothing crazy. I came out of nowhere.
Oh, man. You're fucking cracking me up, brother. The last thing I'm going to ask you from my side is, how are you going to get this thing done?
Yeah, I think 4th round TKO. You know, I do want to show off my hands. I do want to show off my grappling. You know, at the end of the day, I absolutely love fighting. So if I were to go in there and have all this hype behind the fight and I get a first round finish, obviously I'm going to be fucking happy. You know, I just won. Anytime you win, you have to be happy. Anytime you finish someone, you have to be happy. But I actually do want a fucking war in there. I do want to torture him and drag him into deep waters, as everybody keeps saying. And I just want to fight. You know, I do this shit because I absolutely love fighting. I love the combat behind it. I love the mano-a-mano, one-on-one, inside of a fucking cage in front of your friends and family. Let's see what the fuck you got. Let's see what you got if you get sliced open or in a guillotine or an armbar or something like that. That's how you really learn who somebody is. And I just want my war with Raufeon Stots, so I'm hoping he can survive past the first 3 rounds. I want to taste championship rounds, and in that 4th round, that's when I want to get it done. I want to be too much pressure for him, too much torture for him, slicing him up, too many submission attempts, and eventually he'll either tap or I'll TKO him.
Well, Danny Sabatello, I want to tell you thank you so much for the time. You were awesome. I cannot wait to watch this fight. This is going to be a barn burner. Both of you are outstanding fighters. I don't think anyone talks as well as you do.
You guys are great, man.
You are awesome. So thank you very much for the time and best of luck, my friend. Well, I want to thank Danny Sabatello for coming on with us. The guy is a classic. Every time that I talk to that guy, he is funny as hell. Josh, I know that you just absolutely enjoy him. Every time you just sit there and crack up, and then we talk about it for how long afterwards?
Yeah, just you want someone who's real. That's exactly who he is. He's not changing who he is. That type of trash talking to me is authentic. It's when it's forced. It's when it's pushed. That's who he is. Everybody you've talked to, that's the way he is around the gym. But he does it more in a respectful way because those are his teammates and his training partners. But he still talks that way no matter what. We see him at the fight week, and he's just ripping it up. Doesn't matter who it is or what. Nobody's safe around him. And those are the kind of people you want to be around. They're real. I don't know if I want to go into a bar with him because he might pick a fight, but I will definitely like being around him because you know what you get is what you get, and that's what you like.
That is absolutely the truth.
Plus, he can fucking fight.
Yes, he can. He can fight his ass off.
Yeah.
All right, we were able to talk to Danny Sabatello. That was a great interview, but we got to get the second half of this main event in, and we have Raufeon Stots waiting for us right now. The man that took the interim title and is the guy who is looking to carry on with that title throughout this World Grand Prix. Let's get it on with Raufeon Stots. That's right. We are lucky enough to have the man, the myth, the legend, Raufeon Super Stots, the interim champion of the bantamweight division, going into the semifinals against a guy that he absolutely loves in Danny Sabatello. Has told him that how lucky that he was that he won his fight because he earned himself an ass whipping. My man, what is up? You got the greatest hair in MMA. I love your hair, dude.
Appreciate you, man.
I would look so goddamn good with that.
You would look amazing.
See?
Bro, grow your shit out. Grow it out, bro. Do it.
God
the
save
guts,
us.
yeah.
God help us. Please don't grow that shit out. Please don't.
We need to see it, bro. The world needs to see that. Superstar dreads going on.
No, the world does not need to see that. We can see it on you.
An old man with gray dreads.
No.
Yeah,
I ain't trying to see
man.
it.
By the time they got
see
that length, they would. My hair would definitely be gray.
Oh,
For sure.
shit.
So how you
Right.
feeling, baby? How's everything going? How is the training? It is getting close. December 9th is almost upon us. It's about a week away here now. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling amazing, man. You know, I'm almost feeling too amazing. You know, I feel like every camp, like something goes wrong, and right now everything's going according to plan. You know, and yeah, it's going great. You know, I feel like my weight is good, my shape is good. I'm hitting numbers I want to hit. You know, I got my technique dialed in. You know, we got a good game plan going in. You know, so. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I just can't wait. This is the point where, man, I wish the fight was tomorrow, you know, which I've been saying this about this guy for a while. You know, I can't wait to put my hands on this guy. But, yeah, man, I'm just ready to go.
We had talked about having you guys both on together, and Danny just straight up just said, I'm tired of him.
Said no, like a little bitch. That motherfucker he don't want to see me. He don't want to see me, and he's going to have to see me.
Danny
What?
said very he's like, look, man, I'm tired of that fool riding on my coattails, man. I gotta carry him around every interview. I gotta let everybody know. The only reason people know Stotts' name because of me, and because that's
exactly.
That's
you know why? Because I'm better at trash talking. He hate it, man. He hate that people love me so much. He hate that people hate him so much. He tries so hard too, which was funny. We went to Chicago for his for our little media interaction or whatever, and it was so funny to me that the people in Chicago. He even tried like complimenting the people in Chicago, like, oh, these beautiful people here in Chicago. I'm gonna carve this guy's face up, and everybody was like, and I said was like, hey man, who want me to fuck him up? And everybody was like, ah, and that's from Chicago. So like, don't nobody fuck with you in Chicago. Don't nobody fuck you anywhere, bro. So yeah, oh man, I can't wait.
Raufeon, look, you have come into Bellator and you lit it on fire because you started off. Yeah, that was I think you got a unanimous decision first one, and that it's tough to come into a new promotion and fight. There's a lot of pressure on you, but from that point, you have been lighting it up. You had the fantastic fight against Magomedov, and then you took on Juan Archuleta in Hawaii. You had the dynamic. I don't know if I can call it a kick or knee or whatever, but it
wasn't a dynamic backflip. I'll tell you that.
It was still,
hey, don't worry about that.
We're still talking about the backflip, man.
You ain't never gonna live that one down.
I'm never gonna live it down.
We're gonna set that backflip to the side.
I can do 100 backflips and Josh still gonna be like, hey,
I am gonna give you the opportunity to have your moment,
redeem myself
of backflip redemption.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need it.
Okay.
I need it. Please.
We're gonna
Josh
give you
don't want to give it to me. Josh don't want to give it to me.
If you win the World Grand Prix, after you win that $1 million, you do whatever many backflips you fucking want. But don't go fucking it all up right now by knucklehead shit. I see those guys do those backflips off the cage or off
right there. Josh right now is he's trying to protect you because he's afraid, and what he's telling you, Raufeon, is
he pretty much don't believe in
exactly. He does not believe that you can complete that backflip, and you're going to get hurt.
Yeah,
complete as many as you want.
You want to do it even more.
Complete as many as you want with $1 million in your bank. Complete as many as you want with $1 million in your bank.
That sounds nicer. It sounds nicer, but we in the sport of mixed martial arts. You know what I'm saying? We got to take risks. Dude, you got to go big to win big.
Let's be honest.
Risk.
Let's be honest. You're not going to win $1 million. You're not going to win. You're not going to win $1 million. Your wife's going to win $1 million.
oh yeah, for sure. No, for sure. That's 100%. Actually, my wife is like pretty frugal, but my family will win $1 million. I got a lot of it's a lot of mouths to feed here.
No. You got kids. Yeah. Your kids are absolutely adorable too.
Oh, man.
They are little chubs. Yeah.
Little chubs.
Little chubs. Yeah, especially the little baby now. Like Clarence I feel like he's an atypical, oldest, where he tries to please you and he's like nice. This little baby, the youngest one, is a menace, bro. He's
a menace.
He's a little menace. He's like pushing kids off of the couch, and we're trying to,
I told you not to let Josh near him. See what happens?
Justin screwed him up, bro.
Thank you.
Justin screwed him up. This little baby is getting in fights. He's probably in a gang at the daycare and shit. This little baby. He probably gonna run around here. But I love him, man.
I could just see your little baby man running around daycare showing his taco meat. Just telling all the ladies.
Belly out. Hey, he out there.
He's telling all the ladies, come feel my taco meat. Come feel my taco meat.
Come feel this.
Come on.
Little catchy cool, man. Yeah, but I love them. I love these kids, man. And it's actually, a blessing that I'm able to do my camp here in Houston just because I can see my family. Because that does really it kind of takes a toll on you, going out and doing your camp elsewhere. I'm missing out on the formative years of my kids, and that don't feel good to me.
Well, let's talk about it because a lot of it is not an easy thing, and most people don't realize fighters change when they have kids. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of the mental aspect. Everything changes. Everything's not about you, and so how has having kids? It seems to me for you, it's worked. You seem more disciplined, more focused on everything you're doing. Not that you were fighting well before, but you're at a different
No.
level now.
No, for sure. And my like motivations have changed kind of, as I've grown into an adult, I don't want the same things that I wanted when I was younger. And my children, my family, are big motivators for me, huge motivators for me. And I don't take for granted, what I'm like able to do and what I'm sacrificing. Like I'm sacrificing. So the other day, like I'm shadow boxing in the garage, you know what I mean? But this is at night, it's a Friday night, a time where we can go and play. So I'm shadow boxing, getting in a state of mind of fighting somebody. But my kids are here, and so they want to play with me, So I was like, okay, you just come in and play, like kind of while I work out. But it's like, okay, you can only play with me during the off time, which is like 30 seconds around. Like I'm shadow boxing and hitting the bag for 5 minutes, and then I got 30 seconds to play with you. Like that kind of hurt, It's like, no, I can't play with you right now. Like I gotta focus on this for you, but it's also like a sacrifice for you, and you don't really deserve that, So that stuff that it lights a fire in my, belly that like, I got to do this stuff. I'm doing this stuff for them, but also like they're sacrificing for me to do this for them. So, I got to, take out the people in front of me, just the way it is.
When you look at Danny Sabatello and you look across the other side of the bracket with Patchy Mix, and Magomedov, who you've already got a win over, do you see any of these guys in that competition? Even if you weren't matched up against Danny, it was going to be Patchy, and you've already fought Magomed. Do you see any of these guys beating you?
I have to put myself in a position where everybody is capable of beating me. But at the same time, I'm not gonna let any of these guys beat me. Skill wise, I'm better than all these guys. Athletically wise, I'm better than all these guys. I even think like I'm more headstrong than a lot of these guys. But I can't allow myself to like overlook anybody in this tournament, because everybody in this tournament is here for a reason, and they want the same thing, if not more than I want. So, I don't believe anybody is, capable of beating me if I'm at my best and dialed in and present in the moment. So yeah.
But you went from Duke Rufus's gym in Milwaukee. Then you moved to Houston, but then you were kind of still going back to Duke Rufus's. Then there was chances you were in Pettis were going to fight. So then you started going to Extreme Coutures.
Yeah.
You've bounced around quite a bit recently since the tournament started.
Yeah.
Has anything changed in your performances? You feel like what's gotten better and what you feel like is maybe potentially lacking?
So I feel like I was at Rufus Sport for a very long time, that I have like just kind of a foundation, a base of skills that's not really going to leave. I stay sharp on them, and I also contact Duke Rufus and Scott Cushman, and we go over stuff like all the time too. Like there's no like bad blood between me and Rufus Sport or any of the gyms I've been at. So I was just actually in Chicago. We hung out. But yeah. So like I got a good base from Rufus Sport, but I found actually like at the tail end of when I was at Rufus Sport, I went out with Corey Sandhagen and trained with him in Colorado. I'm at the point where I'm able to like pick up other skills from other people and pick out things that work and fit inside my game that I can like work on and improve on. And I'm liking that right now, Of course, I always got to, stick to the stuff that works. And, I always got tools in my pocket that I built, over the years at Rufus Sport. But I feel like now in this phase of my career, I'm able to like, kind of just pick out things from other coaches. Like I'm working with Eve Edwards now. And
fuck that motherfucker.
I mean,
Man, we don't bring that guy's name up on this shit. We don't talk. I'm gonna have Dave bleep that name out. I'm gonna bleep that name out of this podcast.
I'm working with beep now, but
I love that guy, man. He's a great guy, by the way. He's a great
dude, man. And he's,
all he says is take that damn spinning back fist and go.
He's a fantastic.
I mean, he don't bring it up, never. He don't never bring it up.
Never.
Josh Thompson.
Yeah, you better not tell him you were on this show, bro. He'll be posting that highlight reel
Like, what?
all
Oh,
week.
you was where?
All week, all week.
Like, let me see when they were talking about me.
He's a
but
good
yeah,
guy,
so I'm
man.
working with him. Eric Nixick also came out to Houston, you know what I mean, and he's helping with me with game plan and staying accountable, you know what I mean. Which is cool, you know, to have like outside eyes, you know, telling me things that I need to, you know, keep sharp and keep doing or do more of. So I feel like I'm getting better, you know. I've always been a person that accepts knowledge and like just like learns well, like with people. So I'm learning something from everywhere I go. So I feel like I'm better than I was, you know. I feel like I'm always improving. Yeah.
How did your training go with Corey Sanhagen?
My training went good with Corey. Me and Corey, I like Corey a lot, you know. Me and him had some like tough rounds. We grappled. You know, I found out he was a better grappler than I thought he was from the outside. He showed me some things striking wise. I showed him some things, or you know, we just kind of like bounced off each other like ideas and things. Like, okay, when I was sparring you, this is what I was looking for, and this was what worked well for me. You know, which was it was amazing. You know, like on my first like view of you, this is what I thought, you know, this is what I was looking for. And I feel like that type of stuff is like good, you know, cross training with somebody, you know, at a very high level, that you wouldn't normally get to train with, and got two different like ideas on martial arts, and like ways to go about it, you know. So it was amazing. And actually I've trained with me and Corey. Like I think we've trained together like had three different occasions where we've I think I went out there to his place 2 times. He came to my house one time, or last camp. He didn't come out for this Danny fight because Danny sucks, you know. So I was like, just enjoy enjoy your time, you know, off. But we're gonna train again probably after this.
Let's talk about this Danny fight, because if there's one thing that both of you have talent, but you guys have brought this fight to a different level based upon your talk. Because I thought when you walked into the cage, when he won his fight against Leandro Higo, and you walked in that cage, you both were just fantastic. You did exactly what people want to see, hear, to get excited about a fight. You guys sold that. Then you came back and you had your little bit in Chicago and stuff like that. But you guys actually, you may not like each other, but you bounce off of each other very well.
Yeah, I said it before, you know. Superman needs a goddamn arch nemesis, like, you know what I mean? Batman need a Joker, you know. And his sorry ass gotta be my goddamn Joker. No, I appreciate, like, it was one, I seen an interview the other day where somebody was like, what's your favorite meal? He was like, Stots is a bitch. What's your favorite show? Stots is a bitch. Like, some of the shit is like funny to me. Like, I can't help but laugh, you know. I definitely think he doesn't like that I get the better of like exchanges, you know, face to face. But he probably say the same thing about me. He probably think he got the better of exchanges. So
he said you're using a Disney character now as him. What character are you using?
Yeah, it was Sid.
Sid the sloth. The sloth from Ice Age.
Sid the sloth from Ice Age. Daniela looked like Sid the Sloth. He also looked like MIB Worm. What else I had? Oh, he looked like the fucking villain off of Incredibles, with the hair spiked up, just blonde. Incrediboy or whatever his name was. Yeah, man. He got them Buzz Lightyear chin. Just a bunch, you know, it's just a bunch of, you know, things that I can say about this guy. Big overbite, you know, Disney voice, all type of shit.
No,
so I'm having a blast. But he say some good shit too. He say fuck you. He say Stots is a bitch. He say he sucks and I'm good. You know. I think his vocabulary is limited, but you know what I'm saying. It's good shit.
I was flipping through at the end of the night, and you know, he's on the East Coast, so he posted it probably a little bit earlier, and then I saw he's like, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. He's like,
I
and
seen
at the
that
very end,
snap.
he's like, except Stots, that motherfucker. Fuck you, he sucks.
Like, fuck Stots.
He's
Well, I
like,
just want to
fuck
say
Stots.
fuck Stots before
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I
Hell yeah.
was just reading it. I just started fucking cracking up.
See,
I was
but
like,
don't-
Yeah, and all that shit too. All that shit too. I'm just putting in my pocket.
But doesn't
I'm gonna
that-
put in my
but that-
pocket?
that
'cause
tells
when we
you-
fight.
But that tells
What?
you you're in his head. He's thinking about you.
Yeah. No, he definitely thinking about me. He definitely think. I mean, he said it one time. He's like, when I go to sleep at night, I think about Stots. He probably love me. He probably gonna love me by the end of this goddamn fight.
guys, man.
After I beat him up, he gonna love me like a daddy. But yeah,
When you look at what he brings to the table, though, I mean, you've said
Yeah.
publicly, you've said it to him as well, is that all you are is a wrestler, and you feel like you're the better wrestler. He's got good cardio. He will push the action. Do you feel threatened at all anywhere else? Outside of just not being able to stop the takedowns.
no, I don't feel. Yeah, his two biggest threats are his cardio, and his wrestling. And even if he is better than me in those two things, he's not gonna be able to get me out of there. And I feel like I'm gonna be able to, dominate him in any other area of the fight. And that's a big if. Like, you got to be really good to be better than me in wrestling. Like, you got to be like Olympic level wrestler. I've wrestled, with D1 level athletes. I've wrestled with world champion athletes. I've wrestled, so I know where my wrestling stands. And at the end of it's fighting, bro. So you got to be able to wrestle while I'm punching at you, kicking at you, kneeing at you, and then you get me down. Now what? You gonna be able? You ain't nobody in the world gonna be able to hold me down for 5 rounds. Nobody in the world. Up until like 180. You gotta weigh like 180 stepping in there to fucking hold me down. That's a promise. Can't nobody hold me down. But yeah. So even if you take me down once or twice, maybe. You got a whole other different set of problems. I'm no slouch off my back. I know how to move. I know how to create space. Yeah. So I just don't see it ending well.
We were talking to the bully Bilal Muhammad, who was talking about working out with you and how heavy you were, how strong you were, that you felt like you were a 180-pound fighter to him.
Bro, and I don't want to I don't give a damn if he know my game plan or not. If I take him down, I guarantee you he's not gonna get up, and if he gets up, he's not gonna have the same stamina. And that's another thing about this fight. Like, okay, you got good cardio, right? You have good cardio when you're able to get to your good positions, when you're able to control from the back and hang on somebody's back, when you're able to hang on in somebody's guard, then you have good cardio. Shit, I got good cardio if I can fucking just hang out in stuff I'm comfortable in. What happens when you are not comfortable? When you're not comfortable, what happens when I'm controlling the treadmill when you're running? What happens then? Now we're gonna see where your cardio is.
I fall off the treadmill. That's what I do.
and that's one of my game plan of the fight. Like, I'm very good at dictating where the fight goes. Like, what happens when I dictate a position that you don't really want to be in for majority of the fight? I'm gonna bet that you ain't willing to do or go to the lengths I'm willing to go to mentally in those positions. So
yeah, everyone's got good cardio when they're the hammer, not the nail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, Magomed has seen that. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing, bro. You thought you was gonna be able to get to my back. You thought you was gonna be able to, ragdoll me around. When you're not, that's a different type of fight for people, and people not ready for that mentally. Especially being at a big gym like ATT. You're not put in positions that or you're not putting yourself in positions where you need to be the fucking nail a lot, because you're just trying to win rounds. You're trying to to prove yourself to these other great fighters. So you only do your A game stuff, and I know this for a fact. I've been at big gyms. I see how people train. So that's just how.
So you're looking at it like, because he's at a big gym, that he's always just trying to win the round. He's not trying to actually dominate, get the submissions, get the finish, because he don't want to jeopardize losing position.
You can tell by the way he fights. If you can't tell me if Danny Sabatello had the capabilities to finish any of those fights, he wouldn't go and finish. Who the fuck do that? Don't nobody do that. If you have the capability to do something, you gonna do it. Don't say, oh man, I just want to be in there for 5 rounds. I want him to hurt. Like, Like, come on, man. Let's be real. You know, we don't get paid by the hour. You did what you did because that's what you can do. You don't strike with people because that's what you can't. You know what I mean? You can't do it. Like, I'm not saying it's because you're at a big gym. I'm saying because the person you are, you don't have the humility. You don't have the mental wherewithal to know that this is what I need to work on for me, for my career to progress. So that's,
Well, let's look and talk
that's
about,
neither here nor
you
there.
both come from a wrestling background. And so he's believing that his wrestling is better
Yep.
than yours. You're believing that your wrestling is better than his. So really what it comes down to, could the wrestling basically cancel each other out? Now it becomes the stand-up fight. Where is it in his stand-up that you think you can take advantage of what he does? Don't say everywhere.
I mean, look,
Don't say everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. I mean, okay. So his jab, he throws his jab with his elbow out. He has terrible mechanics in the way he throws his jab. The way he moves his feet is not effective in striking. I mean, I see all this stuff. Like, I'm watching this fight, and that's another thing. Like, I'm studying. You know, like my base at Rufus Sport, people they taught me like IQ. Like, I can see these things. I can see, where people make mistakes, where people, excel. And where he excels is getting somebody to think he's striking, and then he's changing levels as they're closing distance with him, and he's shooting from a super far, ways away against people who don't have wrestling reactions. You know what I mean? So they don't know how to, block with the hands, down blocking, things like that, things like, I don't have to wrestle. I don't have to wrestle with you. I can stop you before you even get to my hips. You know what I mean? So yeah. So just technically, there's a lot of things that he does bad technically that he gets away with because he relies on his wrestling.
You seem a little bit, since the last time we've talked to you about Danny, and when I had you in Chicago at the desk, we talked a little bit. You seem a little bit more on edge. Is it because we're getting closer to the fight?
Yeah, because we get closer, and the closer I get to the fight, the more bad things I got in my head to do, So I think my demeanor changes a little bit, It's especially with this matchup. Like, shit, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna hurt you, bro. I'm gonna hurt you, and you may take me down, you may not. You better be ready to not take me down, because I'm ready for both, and I'm ready to hurt you wherever the fight goes.
This is your first fight in Bellator where you are the main event. There's a lot that goes with that. There's added pressure of being the main event. You are the champion now. You're defending that belt, and it's all the media and everything that goes with it. How do you separate all that and keep yourself focused on Danny?
I feel like it's easy because I don't like Danny, so it's easy for me to focus on that fact.
Do you really not like him?
When
Do
you
you
say
really
like,
not,
oh,
do you really not like him? Do you really not like him, or is
no,
it just...
I really don't like the way he carries himself. I really don't. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I appreciate the back and forth. I appreciate it, but I don't like Danny as a person. So. The way he carries himself, I don't like it. And that's like, even before we was gonna fight, I've seen him, the way he talks about, people, other people, I just don't like it. So, I'll get to settle our differences.
So now on the other
side,
of the bracket, you've got a guy that you fought in Magomedov. So you've already got one fight against him, a victory against him, and you have somebody that you kind of trained with a little bit in Patrick Mix at Extreme Couture for a little bit. Who is it that you would rather face in the finals?
I feel like Magomed would be a tougher fight because he knows how good I am, and he knows he has to train more, and he has to, I feel like he would be more reserved. I think he thought he was gonna run me over the last time, and when that didn't happen, that kind of rattled him. Patchy Mix, though, I feel like he has a better chance to win this fight just off of his previous performances, like the things that I feel like he suffered at, even with the loss to Juan Archuleta, I feel like he's improved upon. And he proved me wrong in that Koraguchi fight. I didn't even see him winning that fight at all. And with like Magomed, if Magomed lets him get to his back, that's not a guy that you want to be there. Magomed is savvy there, but I feel like Patchy is super dangerous there. In any grappling situation. Yeah, so I think Patchy will win that fight just because I mean, he could just because if
You don't
if
sound
Magomed
too
allows
sure.
him to get to his
You
back,
don't sound too sure.
so I was
It's a
saying
toss-up.
Magomed. I was saying Magomed. Yeah, it is a toss up. I was saying Magomed for the longest, and then now I'm like, kind of what's the name? Thinking Patchy. I don't really know, bro. I don't know. I'm just talking. I don't know.
Pat,
No, no.
it's funny because they both have their both are grappling based and very unique styles to both. And when both when Patchy does what he does, look at him against Horiguchi, he was fantastic. And Magomed, look at him against Barzola, he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was amazing.
So
yeah.
it's I understand why you're like, I'm going this way. No, I'm going this
Yeah,
way.
I don't
you know?
know.
Just say
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
know.
I don't know. That's what I should have said. I have no idea. I don't know.
I have no clue.
Oh,
Doesn't
goddamn,
matter.
no.
Got my own
Have
fight.
you-
I don't have to worry about that.
Have you thought far enough ahead? Has this been in the back of your mind that you are the interim champ? If you finish out, you'll be the World Grand Prix champion. That you're gonna have to fight your teammate to unify these titles. Is that in your mind?
That's
it's
way in the
there?
back. It's in
It
there
is,
somewhere.
but it's still there though, right?
Yeah, it's there, but I ain't trying to think about it right now. It's in the back there though. I thought about it,
Do you guys
Yeah, I
talk?
try-
Do you guys talk? Do you guys keep in touch and kind of kick it around? And
like what's the name? We hit each other up on Instagram a little bit. We
I mean,
play
you let
Fortnite.
them know
Where we be on Fortnite at the same time. But
you let
yeah,
him know
it
he's gonna
was
have to
just-
face. He's gonna have to face a taco meat, right? You gonna let him know you gotta
yeah,
face taco
I
meat.
think he knows, man. I think he knows. It's funny, like when we were training together, like we would say, our coach Scott Cushman, like it was like after I had fought Magomed, I think, I think I said I was just like, man, what if I gotta fight this guy that's like Hispanic and he's like, you know what I mean? He's like a younger brother of a big, Showtime guy, and he's very good on his feet or whatever, and then we all started laughing, but it was like an awkward laugh, like, damn, we probably is. That shit probably gonna happen. So it's just kind of be like, it's kind of, it's a sticky situation. It ain't really sticky, but it's just like, it's crazy.
Is the separation of you leaving you're not leaving the gym, but you're not being at the gym now? Has that made it
Make it a little easier.
a little easier?
Yeah, that definitely makes it a little easier to like wrap my head around. Like I haven't practiced with him in about a year, so like that makes it easier, to like wrap my head around it. And I didn't move Richard Sport because of that. I moved because I had a second child and I'm from Houston and I was gonna be closer to my family and stuff.
Yeah.
But don't you just look at it's business, and in business,
Yeah,
if I can do something that's going to make Josh a lot of I won't do it.
Yeah.
Now, of course I would do it because that's my brother.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just business.
And that's when I like thought about it. I think about I love Sergio. Sergio's my boy, but at the same time I love my family. A little
bit more.
I'm not. Yeah, I love my family more. It's not fair for me, or it's not fair to them for me to not take this fight with Sergio. Not give them the opportunity to reap the benefits of that. So
got it.
At the end of the day, we're gonna be cool afterwards. We're gonna beat shit out of each other a lot. So you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be no different.
So back to the Danny Sabatello fight. How does this fight end in your mind?
Man, you know what? I was thinking about the other day. I might just TKO him and then wave the ref off. Like
I never understand this. How can someone sit there? You understand what a TKO is, right?
Yeah. I punch him into
no.
the ref.
See,
Or
he
no.
got that
Oh.
look.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
That's a fighter look right there.
I
Like,
don't know. I guess
yeah,
I
I
don't
hear
know.
it all the time.
I'm on the spot
Yeah,
now.
see?
I don't mean to put you on the spot, brother. Look, why?
Yeah,
why
put me on spot.
you want a KO? What is the difference between in MMA?
So
What's the difference?
Okay, no, I do
Knockout
want a
and a
TKO. This is why
Okay, let's hear it.
I want a TKO because I want to beat the shit out of him to the point where the ref is like coming, and then I can wave him off like, no, he good. I'm gonna help him up. So the ref
You're
will
gonna give him
stand
time.
back, and I can beat the shit out of him some more. Then I can knock him out. Yeah, I want him to eat. I want him to eat a lot of damage, before the ref.
So you want to torture?
in
You want to torture him
and try to stop me.
You want to torture him
but-
into that TKO finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got it. I got it. That makes sense.
So it was a TKO. I want to knock him out. I want to knock him out cold. Maybe the second time after I had my fill of damage, then I can knock him out cold. But I want to hurt him. I want to hurt him bad.
Such
you,
ill
when you start
intent.
moving your hands,
That's
you
great.
remind me a little bit of like Eddie Murphy when he would do some of his comedy stuff. It just
Yeah.
it comes out naturally.
It do come out.
Yeah.
It do. I can't
Okay.
help it.
Oh man.
But
John took my last question for me, man. I wanted to know how you thought it was going to end, but it's coming up on Fight Week. I talked to Danny about it. He just said, look, everything pretty much stays the same. Stay focused. He's surrounded by the people that he's surrounded by. Like you seem during the week when we see you seem pretty lighthearted. Like, filming videos of other guys in the elevators, talking shit to them, still doing that stuff.
Yeah.
You've got these guys that are going to be around. You've got Magomed. He probably don't understand what you're saying. And he don't care. He's just that guy, But you got Patchy. He'll be around, and I don't know if Sergio's coming out for this or not, but
That'd be cool.
But then being around like during that week, what's different for you in that week of fight, or do you just stay even killing, still just having fun?
So my fight week is probably the easiest week I got. I'm just actively recovering, vibing out, I'm pretty chill, I'm spending a lot of alone time, getting into the headspace of a fight, but I'm chilling until, it's time to work, do my little workouts, actively recover. It's pretty chill. I'm pretty chill.
What's the last thing you want to tell everybody that's listening right now about this fight?
Listen to me. I'm going to beat the shit out of this dude, Danny Sabatello. And I cannot wait. I literally cannot wait.
All right, man. Well, hey, man, good luck. Best of luck. And we're going to see you next week. I mean, I'll land at 8 or 9 in the morning. I go straight to the fighter interviews.
Y'all getting there Monday?
Again, right away. Yeah, I get in on Wednesday morning early.
Man, yeah, I'm
Fighter
going to
interviews
be
are
doing a
Wednesday
lot of
morning,
that stuff, huh?
Yeah, you're
Yes,
gonna be busy
you
when you
are.
land. Once you land, you're gonna be busy.
You're gonna be tired of us.
You got, I think you got media day on Tuesday, and you got us. You got more press and media on Wednesday, and you got fighter meetings with us as well. So
Crazy.
yeah, you're gonna be a busy boy. Busy boy. How's your weight?
Go. My weight's
How's your
good. I
weight?
woke up at 148 this morning, which is pretty low. I just finished eating. I should do a little lighter today or tomorrow. I'm usually going to Fight Week around 149 or 150. So I'm a little ahead of schedule.
Good.
Well, we will see you in just a little bit. I want to tell you, Raufeon, thanks so much for coming on the show with us. You're always fun. You're always a blast. And you got that smile and love everything that you're doing. Keep it up. I expect more out of you in the year of 2023 also. So good luck, my man. Can't wait to see you on the 9th.
And you better never bring up fucking Eves Edwards' name around here. God damn it.
For sure. I won't
See you
bring
next-
it up. I won't bring it up.
I'll see you next week, brother. See you
Just
next week.
every time you see Josh,
All right,
do a spinning back fist.
Yeah. Every time
Stay
he say
stay on.
every time he say backflip, I'm gonna say Eve Edwards. That's
Or just go. Hey, just ask him what's worse, my backflip or you spinning back fist.
All right, brother.
there go
man.
my fat baby.
There you go.
Hey.
There you go.
Oh Lord.
That's out of fight shape, Raufeon Stots. Right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, my man. Well, hey,
Take care, brother. All right. That was an awesome interview. You got to admit, man, Raufeon Stots, he is absolutely. You got Danny Sabatello. He's got his way of talking shit, and Raufeon's got his way of talking shit, and they're both fucking classic. They're two of my favorite guys in the world, but I got to admit right now, Raufeon's got the cuter babies.
Look, let's just be honest, man. Raufeon's trying to bite off more to get you, trying to pick fights in the over the Eve stuff. Don't bring up that damn Eve's Edwards name on my podcast.
You now. You talked about his backflip. He's got you now.
But John, you know you've talked about his backflip too. So that shit, I'm trying to save him, man. I'm trying to save him. Save your backflips for after they give you that big, huge check that says $1 million on it. Save them until after that. I'm looking out for you, buddy. That's all I'm doing, bud. It's awesome to have him on. He's fun. He's always great. Taco meat, crazy hair. Just, you know.
You got the best hair in MMA, man. Come on.
You're jealous, huh? You can't have
I am, dude. Look, there's certain guys that you can look at dreads on. You go, that guy. They look great because it's part of his personality. It's perfect.
Yeah, it is perfect. I'm waiting for him to start threading his taco meat. Start braiding it up.
Starts dreading the taco meat. I'm out. Yeah. All right, everybody. I got Josh Thompson. He's dying, so I got to keep him in this position where he can't talk. This is the best. So for everyone out there, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you.